Hey guys, it's me, 80s Richard guys. I want to do my UEFA Nations League predictions for 2020-2021 edition. Now, I know some of you guys are probably confused on why I'm back here 2018, 2019. The reason is because I just want to look back at history just for history purposes. I just want to look back and see what happened. We'll do a quick dive of this. And then once we finish that, guys, we move on to predictions. So I'll be putting timestamps below in the description if you guys don't really care about this. Let me record this. So we're at 0:30. So 0:30, guys, we will begin the thing. So let's start here, actually. So let's just look at this real quick. I'll try and make this quick and concise. So League A, guys, for the Nations League 2018-2019, Netherlands actually topped the group with 7 points. And they actually qualified to the final basis on the head-to-head goal difference, which is interesting. Switzerland actually qualified to the final as well with having picked up 9 points, and they actually had a positive goal difference, which is the reason why they made it through. Portugal topped the group with 8 points, and England topped the group with 7 points. You can see right there the Nations League semifinal and final, respectively, third place game as well. Portugal ended up winning 3-1 against Switzerland with a Cristiano Ronaldo hat trick, and then the Netherlands actually came from behind to beat England 3-1. And then Switzerland and England played out to a 0-0 draw after extra time, and England actually won on penalties 6-5. So interesting there. And the Portugal won against Netherlands with Guedes getting the goal 1-0 in the finals. So you can see right there. Ukraine got promoted from League Group B, which is interesting. Sweden got promoted. Bosnia got promoted. Denmark got promoted. So really interesting there. League C, Scotland got promoted. Israel got promoted. Finland got promoted. Hungary got promoted. Norway, Bulgaria got promoted. Serbia, Romania got promoted. So, yeah, they moved to the next league. And then Group D, we got Georgia that got promoted. Kazakhstan that got promoted. Belarus, Luxembourg, Moldova got promoted. Kosovo, Azerbaijan got promoted. And Macedonia, Armenia got promoted. Moldova got promoted. So, they got promoted based on the third place thing, which is interesting. And so, yeah, that's basically it for 2018-2019 edition. Now let's move on to the 2020-2021 edition. Okay. So here we are, guys. Let's go ahead and look at the groups. Let's actually look at this real quick. I was going to do something else, but we'll just do it this way, I guess. So Group A, Italy actually topped the group with 12 points, which is really interesting. Only did it by just 1 point, indeed, which is crazy. Belgium topped the group with 15 points. France ended up topping the group with 16 points. And Spain actually topped the group with 11 points. Wow. And yeah, you can see the semifinals right here. We'll get onto that preview a little later. Remember, Italy's hosting this, by the way. And then League B, you can see Austria got promoted. Northern Ireland got relegated. Czech Republic got promoted. Slovakia got relegated. Hungary got promoted. Turkey got relegated. Wales got promoted. Bulgaria got relegated. And you can see right there, Montenegro got promoted. Cyprus got relegated. Armenia got promoted. Estonia got relegated. Actually, Estonia didn't get relegated. They qualified for the playoffs, relegation playoffs. So Cyprus, Estonia, Moldova, and Kazakhstan, and Albania, Slovenia, Armenia, and Montenegro all got promoted. You can see the relegation playoffs here. The Faroe Islands actually got promoted, and Gibraltar got promoted there. So you can see, very interesting indeed. So, yeah, now let's move on to the actual Nations League. So let me go ahead and put the timestamp. So it was took around 3 minutes and 36. So around 3 minutes, which is kind of ideal time. So let's move forward to the lineups. Oh, shoot. I already showed you guys the lineups anyway. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the matchup here. So we have UEFA Nations League Finals. That's what they call this. Will be taking place tomorrow at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It's called the head-to-head meetings. And it's really interesting because Italy and Spain have played out a lot of times against each other. It's been very, very often indeed, with the most recent edition coming in the 2020 UEFA semifinal, Euro semifinals, of which Italy actually triumphed 5-3 on penalties after Indy 1-1 in regulation. So really interesting there. You got international record, 12 wins for Italy, 13 wins for Spain, 13 draws. So it's very, very close, guys, with Spain just holding the edge here. Roberto Mancini versus Luis Enrique. Roberto Mancini's actually picked up a win against Luis Enrique, and I think that was the 2020 Euro semifinals. And you can see very similar records indeed, 1.91 points per match, and Luis Enrique is 1.97 indeed. So very similar indeed. Age is also very similar as well. And so it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, the most valuable player for Spain is Mikel Oyarzabal, and most valuable player for Italy is Chiesa indeed. So you can see the top fixture goal scorers indeed. So now we move on to the actual lineups. Let's talk about the game itself. So for me, guys, I think this could be a really fascinating game. I think this is going to be a really fascinating game. And it's going to be interesting because Italy is obviously keen for revenge here. I mean, not Italy. Spain's looking for revenge. And obviously, they would be heartbroken, especially after how well they played. Because in that UEFA semifinals, I would actually say Spain actually played better than Italy. I actually would say that. And the thing about this thing is that it's so difficult to call because Italy haven't really been that great ever since the Euros. Although, to be fair, it's only been 1 month since qualifiers. And it's a really tough one to call because for me, Spain, for me, at their very best, they're a team that I just don't know. Times they can play really well, and then times they can't play well. It's just a hard nation to gauge. This is a nation that looks good on paper. I think their possession, their style is really good, effective. It's just when it comes to scoring the goals, it's a very difficult thing for them to score. And I looked at the squad they had called up for this. It's a very, very difficult, which we'll get onto a little later. And some of the players they called up, I don't really know if they can score the goals on a regular basis. Whereas Italy, on the other hand, they also play a very similar brand of Spain. Very, very possession-based football, and obviously being defensively stable at the back, which I think could be the key here. Is that I feel like Italy's defense for me might be better than Spain's defense here, which I think could be the difference maker. It's a very close match. As I said, I think it's a match that has very fine margins. I don't think this will be high goal scoring. This will be a very low fixed scoring match. I just think for me, both nations will be a very tactical kind of game. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and look at the lineups for both nations. Then I'll give you guys a quick prediction. So let's go ahead and look at the lineups here first. So let's start with the very first nation, let's start with the host nation, that is Italy. And we're going to look at that, and we're just going to just put this here, okay? So let's start with Italy here, okay? So this is a lineup that I think we could see Italy put out. And hold on, let me just check something real quick. Did Italy call Moise Kean? Because I don't think they... Did they? I don't think they did. No, I don't think they did. Oh my goodness. I might have made a mistake here, guys. Oh, here's... That's interesting. Okay, Moise Kean did get called up. Okay, never mind, guys. Never mind. Okay, so let's go look at the lineup here. So we have our goalkeeper, we have Donnarumma. Then we have our left back, which is Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci, obviously, Di Lorenzo. And then you have the midfield to be Jorginho, Verratti, Barella. And then your front three you have is Insigne and Keane and Chiesa. Now, if for some reason Keane didn't get called up, because I did see on the Twitter page of Italy, I don't think Moise Keane did get called up, so you'll probably see like Belotti there. I don't think Immobile got called up as well, so you'll probably see Belotti, maybe some other players, I don't know. So, I don't know, I'm just going to go with Keane just because it's on the Wikipedia page, but that might not be right, so just so you guys know. So for me, this is Italy's best lineup here. I think for me, the players to look out for Italy are as follows. I think Verratti, we know the quality he has as a player. Donnarumma, we know how great he is as a goalkeeper. I would keep an eye upon Chiesa. We know how clutch he can be. Insigne as well, and Barella as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Italy do with this team. I think it's a very good team they have on paper. Moving on to the Spain team. The Spain team is also very interesting. I think Unai Simon's going to start. You have Reguilon as a left back. I think he might get a call up ahead of Alonso, and then I think Torres, Laporte will be the center back partnership, and then I think Azpilicueta will be the right back. But keep in mind, guys, this is what I predict. This is not what I want, okay? And then I think Busquets, Koke, Roberto will see as a midfield, and then I think we'll see Sarabia on the left, Torres in the middle, and Oyarzabal on the right. So I think we'll see Torres as like a false nine kind of setup, and I think it'll be really interesting here to see how that pans out. So for my prediction for this game, it's a very tough game to predict. I think Italy is going to triumph here 2-1. And the reason why I'm picking Italy here is because not only they're the host nations, that's a huge, huge advantage to have, and I think that could be a huge difference maker. I also believe that this, for me, is a match where I just think Spain's forward options are very light. I just think not having Morata and not having Gerard Moreno is a huge, huge loss indeed. And I don't really know I don't really know if I can trust Sarabia to score the goals. I know Torres has been good for Man City and all. I don't know how he will do for Spain. I know, and I don't think Oyarzabal has really been that great. Busquets has been kind of off, and I just think for me, Spain's goal scoring for me is just the big issue I have. It's just the biggest issue. We could see Mikel Moreno get an opportunity, but I don't really think he's really, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical about that, and I also do believe that Spain's defense is also not that great because Reguilon's not really been playing a lot. He's not really been that great for Spurs. And then you got Azpilicueta, who's been pretty good for Chelsea. So, It should be really interesting. It should be really interesting. So my prediction, as I said, Italy, I think will triumph 2-1. I think Italy will score first through Chiesa. I think he'll score. And then I think Spain will equalize through Sarabia. And I think I have a feeling that Insigne might get the winning goal. So that's my prediction, guys. I have Italy to triumph here 2-1 against Spain. So let me go ahead and put a timestamp below. So that's 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Wow, I spent a lot of time on this match. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, indeed. So the next match we have is France versus Belgium. Belgium versus France. Another very interesting fixture indeed. So this is coming to you on Thursday, October 7th, and this will take place at 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. So you can see right there, Belgium versus France, an interesting record. Belgium actually picked up 30 wins against France, 25 wins for France, and 19 draws. That's very surprising. I thought France would have picked up more wins there, which is interesting. You got Roberto Martinez versus Didier Deschamps. Roberto Martinez has actually played against France only one time. He's actually lost. And Didier Deschamps, he's played against Belgium 3 times. He's got picked up a draw, a win, and a loss. So you can see right there, 1.33 points per game, 1.86 success rate, and his record against Roberto Martinez is 1 win. And Didier Deschamps, So it's really interesting here. So your most valuable player you got for both national teams, you have Kylian Mbappe with 176 million, and then Romelu Lukaku with 110 million. Now this, for me, guys, could be a high goal-scoring fixture. I think we could see a lot of goals in this game, guys. I think we could see a lot of goals in this game because I really don't believe both defenses have been that great. You could look at the most recent record between France and Belgium, which France actually triumphed for 1-0, and the 2018 World Cup semifinals, and that was a pretty big, crazy achievement there. So let's talk about this one real quick. For me, guys, I think France and Belgium have been very underwhelming. Ever since that World Cup 2018, they have been very underwhelming. I haven't really been impressed with either nation. And we're always made to believe that Belgium will win something. Belgium, they haven't won anything under Roberto Martinez, which is so embarrassing. I mean, having that kind of squad you have, and you still haven't won anything, and you haven't even come close to, you haven't even reached a final. That's the crazy part about this, is that you haven't even reached a final. The best that you did was the semifinals, and the World Cup 2018. You could even get to the semifinals of this year's edition. So, I don't know, man. This one's another tough one to predict. And France, they've been very underwhelming. You look at what they did in the Euros. They were very, very disappointing. I mean, how did they lose to Switzerland? They had a recent huge draw streak in which they picked up so many draws. They finally did end their draw streak, I think. And it's just a tough match to call because for me, you guys, there is so many questions for both national teams here. And that coming into the 2022 World Cup, there's a lot of questions that this could potentially be the last for the generation, especially for Belgium here. And that it's going to be really interesting. And also, not to make matters worse, I also did hear reports. I don't know if this is true. I did hear reports that Kylian Mbappe might take a break from the France national team. If that is the case, that is a huge loss for France. That's a huge loss. Now, I know Mbappe hasn't really done too well for France as recently, but still, man, that's a huge, huge loss indeed. And I think that, for me, is a very, very pivotal loss indeed. And that is someone you can't really replace, So let's go ahead and look at the lineups for both national teams here. And let's start with Belgium and then France. And then, obviously, we'll give you guys my prediction. Okay? So, for me, guys, let's start with Belgium here. So, I think they're going to line up with a 3-4-3. I think we'll see. Why is the goalkeeper? Oh, I forgot to put Courtois. That's supposed to be Courtois, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot to put his name there. Courtois as goalkeeper. And then I think we'll see Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Denayer. And then for the midfield, I think we'll see Carrasco, Witzel, Tielemans, and Munier. You could also maybe see Castagna and all that good stuff, but I think Munier will get started. And then for the front three, Hazard on the left, Lukaku in the middle, and KDB on the right. And that's another thing for Lukaku, is that Lukaku hasn't really been that great for in the big games. That's what we're all been made to believe. He's not really been that great in the big games. So that's a very interesting. So will Lukaku actually show up in this game? That's a really good question to have. And KDB as well, Eden Hazard as well. There's a lot of questions about front three. Whereas for France, on the other hand, I think they're going to line with a 4-2-3-1. I think, we'll see Lloris in goal, Hernandez as a left back, Varane, Kimpembe as a center backs, Pavard the right back, and then we're going to see Pogba and Rabiot. Now, I would have actually put Kanté there, but Kanté has tested positive, so he can't be in the lineup, obviously. So I think Rabiot's going to start. And generally speaking, Rabiot usually starts for some reason. So Rabiot, I think, will start. And then I think for that front four, it's going to be interesting. So I think Griezmann will stay in the middle, Mbappe will be in the right, and Benzema will be in the up top. And then I think we could see Anthony Martial play as the left mid. So it's going to be really interesting there. The players that I'm not really sure about are Martial and Rabiot. The rest of the team, I'm pretty confident we'll see as that. So let's move on to the prediction, guys. Normally, guys, I would pick France. I think for me, France have the better nation, and I think at the very, very best, France are better than Belgium. However, I'm going to go with the surprise pick here and say that Belgium will triumph here. France, for me, I just haven't really been convinced with. And it's so difficult to call because, for me, if France play their very, very best, then I think they beat Belgium. But if we have seen the France that we have seen for most of this year, then I would say France will lose. And I know Belgium haven't really been that great against the big teams, and I know their defense is very sketchy as well. France's defense has also been sketchy as well. Varane's not really been in good form. Kimpembe has been really all over the place. And so that's why I said, remember I told you guys that this could be a high goal-scoring fixture? I wouldn't be surprised. And you know what, guys? You know what? I'm going to go for a crazy prediction here. I think Belgium will win 3-2. I think it'll be a high goal-scoring fixture indeed because, as I said, both defenses have been kind of all over the place. And I feel like both nations just need to prove something, right? So I think we'll see Carrasco actually score first for Belgium, which is funny. And then I think we'll see Mbappe. I think we'll see Griezmann actually equalize. And then I think Benzema will score for France. And then Belgium will make a come from behind victory. And I think Belgium will score in the 80th minute through, I'm going to say it's going to be KDB. And the 90th minute, I'm going to say Tielemans with a long-range effort. So that's my prediction, guys. Belgium to beat France, 3-2. So I want you guys to comment down below, what are your semifinal predictions, guys? So if my predictions go as follows, my third place game would be Spain versus France, and then the final would be a Belgium versus Italy, a rematch 2020 Euro quarterfinals, in which Italy triumphed 2-1. So of course, guys, I'll give you guys my predictions for that when the time comes. And so yeah, guys, I hope you guys do enjoy the video, guys. Remember, guys, to comment, subscribe, and also let me know what the lineups. What you guys do you guys agree with my predicted lineups? Because this is what I am predicting, by the way, guys. So do you guys agree with that, as well as comment down below your predictions? And that's it for today, guys. So I hope you guys do enjoy the video, guys. Remember, guys, to comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. And make sure to check out me and my other platforms in the description below.